Welcome back, folks, to another 15 minutes in search of sanity. Strap in, my friends, because for the next 15 minutes, we're going to try and figure it out together. Stay sane, keep our sanity in a world that sometimes seems to have gone completely mad. My name is Mark Wilson, and please say hello to my co-host, my friend, chef, entrepreneur, ginaholic, and today across the pond, I believe, in old London, England. I won't do the English accent. I gotta stop doing that. But say hello to my friend Clive Pinder, the true English accent.
Well, thank you, Mark. I have to say, you're very, very good at accents. But if I may say so, your English accent is shite. So,
Jeez, it's not that bad.
It is pretty bad. And I'm not in London. I'm in Norfolk, where they talk like this because it's country.
Okay.
My sister's house, hence the nondescript background. But it is 90 degrees outside, and the whole country is under a hosepipe ban. So what used to be the green and pleasant lands now looks a little more like, I don't know what, but it's it looks like Paso. Actually, it's all brown.
Oh, brown. Oh, that's too bad. Because I thought that your country is known for lush greenery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's known for rainfall. We rank in the middle of Europe when it comes to rainfall, but we, like, funnily enough, California, don't build enough reservoirs. So
there you go. Maybe it's because
simple.
you're a socialist country, because that's what we're going to talk about today.
It is.
And I know, again, that's our topic for the day is, are we becoming a socialist country? And by us, I mean America. And we could talk about the UK as well being socialist, but I know we could probably take 2 or 3 hours on this. We need to do it in 15 minutes, but so let's just dangle a few carrots out there and then maybe do a longer show about it later. But I think it's on everybody's mind right now. In the last couple of days here, we've had some Socialist Party folks win some pretty big primaries, one in Michigan and one in Minnesota, and I believe there are more as well, but is this something that we need to worry about? Is it real? Is this just another Tea Party thing? Or where are we going with this? Your thoughts, Clive?
Well, if you're a supporter of Trump, you're a fascist. It could be that if you're a supporter of who the next Democratic president is, you're a socialist. I spent a couple of days researching this and talking to some friends who I know are Democrats. I think we need to determine what socialism is. I mean, one of them today sent me a message saying, there are no socialists in America. And I said, well, you might want to look up the Democratic Socialists of America Party, of which Mandami is a fully paid up member. The clue's in the name. And then, of course, they say, well, socialism isn't communism, to which I'd like to read you what Lenin wrote. And I'm looking to the left because I am quoting, what is usually called socialism was termed by Marx the first or lower phase of communist society. So anybody who's sitting there and telling you that socialism isn't on the same path to communism as, the Democrats would tell you that Trump is on the path to fascism. I mean, they're both two ends of the same stick. So, I think socialism is on the rise. It's certainly on the rise in the UK as well. For our UK listeners, you'll be well aware that the Green Party's polling up at 10%. And it's rising. I think it'd be interesting. What are your thoughts on why that is, Mark?
Well, let me first say that if we want to define socialism, I don't know if we need to define socialism as much as we need to define what the Democratic Socialists of America actually have defined for themselves. And they believe in defunding the police. They hate Israel. They don't want a Senate. They want to get rid of the Senate. They want to get rid of the presidency. I mean, there are all kinds of things that they've defined for themselves. That they want government ownership of large corporations. They want government ownership of private property. So I think they have defined themselves. But here's something, and I'm going to do this.
Can I just pull up on one point, Mark? Can I just say one thing? Because I think
go ahead.
So they want government ownership of utilities. I haven't seen them say they want to own, for example, Tesla or Esso, maybe yes, there would be utility. I have to say, I am not averse to some form of public-private partnership when it comes to utilities. That's a whole nother subject. But I just think we need to be clear. I don't think they're saying. I mean, it's state control. They do want state control of certain industries. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, utilities, and that's a whole different conversation, and I think we could have that. That might be a topic for us here on 15 Minutes in Search of Sanity because of what happens here in California. But I want to take a true in search of sanity philosophy about this, because we don't like to attack things until we try to understand them a little bit better. And I'm going to take a little different approach to this. I wonder, are socialists, because what you hear now from the right wing is that socialists are trying to destroy America. And I think the more intellectual discussion should be, what if they're trying to save America and they're just catastrophically wrong about how they're going about it? I mean, do they wake up in the morning and go, I just want to destroy this country, I hate it? That's hard for me to wrap my head around, even though that's what the opposition is saying. I wonder if there aren't a lot of them that really believe, because they haven't been taught about communism or socialism. Year after year in school, they're told about the failures of capitalism and the injustices of American history, or that have arisen in American history. They're certainly teaching that in college. So maybe the chickens are coming home to roost now, but these young people, they don't know what they don't know.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the civic class, but I think you're getting at a deeper issue here. It's cause and effect. Why did Trump get elected twice? Because there was a whole generation of people that felt that the country wasn't working for them. Why is Mandami elected in New York? Why is it likely that whoever gets the nomination for the Democrats is going to have to tangle with what are clearly socialist tendencies in their party? It's because there's a whole generation of people out there that feel the United States isn't working for them, and it's exactly the same in the United Kingdom. I mean, in terms of just trust in capitalism has gone from like 80 to 54%. 38% of Americans think that socialism could be the answer. I think a lot of Americans think socialism is actually what the Nordic countries have, which is it's completely wrong. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just take my word. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but the Prime Minister of Sweden, I believe it was, or either Sweden or Denmark, said, we are not a socialist country.
Right.
We are a capitalist country with a generous welfare state. But I think the cause is that there's a whole generation of people there that feel the country isn't working for them, and I think they have a point.
No, I don't disagree that they have a point, because I certainly can understand where people think that wealth is unfairly concentrated and the rich are controlling government, because I feel that way sometimes. Yeah. I feel like if you don't have a check, I'm sorry, you're not going to influence anybody in government. They feel that ordinary people deserve economic security, and that the economy should serve human needs rather than just profit. And when you look at the really rich people in America, and I think going back to the Tea Party, because again, this question has come up: is this Democratic Socialists of America just another Tea Party? I think the Tea Party didn't want to remake America. They wanted to redefine capitalism. And I think there's a big difference there. My question is, to the socialists, they want to give government, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I could be, they want government to have greater control, right? They want more things in the hands of government.
Correct.
So healthcare, housing, energy, transportation, et cetera, et cetera. My question would be, if so much concentrated power is dangerous in the hands of people like Elon Musk, why is it suddenly okay when it's held by politicians and bureaucracies? What's the difference? It's still in the hands of a few people.
Well, I think they would say the difference, and perhaps rightly so, that in the hands of the government, people wouldn't be getting obscenely rich off it. I think if you look, they talk about it as horseshoe politics. So, what we're saying here is the far left and the far right are pretty much closing. I mean, the difference between fascism and communism is not a great deal. So I think it's wealth inequality is definitely one of the causes of this push towards more socialist, more government control. That's understandable.
Can I blow your mind though? Because I did some research on two very prominent Democratic socialists here in America.
Yes.
One of them won a primary in Michigan. Abdul El-Sayed just won the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate in Michigan. Full-fledged socialist.
Yeah.
Government ownership of property, defund the police. This is one of his quotes. It's not the right to bear arms, but it should be the right to health care. And by the way, if America did take over health care, did another piece of research here, it would increase your taxes between $15,000 and $21,000 a year.
Yeah,
I can get my health care cheaper than that right now. So, but let me give you a little bit of information on Mr. El-Sayed. Hasn't done too shabbily. He and his wife Sarah Jakaku earned $686,000 in income last year, according to a financial disclosure report he released last month. That would rank him among Michigan's top 1% of earners. The couple made $262,000 from capital gains, which he said came from the sale of a property that his wife's parents bought for them. His disclosure also noted additional income of almost $293,000 from his podcast. His podcast claims to explore what's really making us sick and what we'll need to take on. Who cares about his podcast?
Yeah.
He and his wife also own between $882,000 and $2.2 million in assets, which include 3 rental properties. One of which his wife recently acquired in Dubai. Oh, how nice. So, I mean, okay. I don't begrudge Mr. El-Sayed his modest fortune, but why should he begrudge billionaires theirs?
Well, it's champagne socialism, isn't it? I don't know if that's a term you've come across, but it's often, again, it's hard. I have a lot of sympathy with the fact that I think wealth inequality is obscene. And the trouble is, in the old days, wealth inequality was hidden behind tall walls. Now it's splashed over every TikTok, Instagram page. So we just said, I think, listen, for me personally, capitalism has become, it's a fine line between capitalism and where Elon Musk is. And but it was ever thus. I mean, we've had Elon Musks through the history, certainly in America and in the UK, in terms of, if you look at the oil barons, you look at the railway barons, you look at the media barons.
Well, what's your solution for that then? I mean, if Elon Musk shouldn't have as much money as he has, if he shouldn't have earned as much money as he has, how much do we take from him?
I don't think regressive, retroactive taxation is the way to go. I think we have a tax system that is the tax system doesn't work clearly. Government doesn't work clearly. I mean, just look at the state of California. They've doubled the state budget in 20 years.
Some governments don't work. I think they're doing quite well in Florida.
State governments.
Government can work. Capitalist government can work.
Yeah, I just think it's cycles always move. The pendulum swings too far one way. I have a sympathy with, let's just take PG&E as an example. I mean, that's a utility that has made its shareholders obscenely rich. Look at what happened in 2008 when the banks went bankrupt. Not one person, not one executive from any of those banks paid the price. You know who paid the price? The taxpayer.
Of course,
So
but is socialism, the question again, because we don't have a whole lot of time, is
socialism
the answer to that
No,
problem?
no. I don't believe it is. I'm a great believer in Ronald Reagan. Was it? The 9 words you don't want to. Hi, I'm government from here to help. I just think we need better guardrails around capitalism, and I know for a fact that socialism doesn't work. We're at our 15 minutes. I would encourage anybody listening to this show, go and look up Venezuela. That is pure socialism.
Or Cuba.
That's exactly what it is. And well, Cuba is more communism. But anyway,
true.
so I mean, I think that we are. I think we're out of. Sorry, I lost the screen for a minute there, Mark. I just think it's a. I think there's a real danger the pendulum will go the other way. I mean, I think that some of the things, I think some of the things the MAGA and the Tea Party think or thought or wanted to do were insane. And I fear that if we overcorrect, socialism is not the answer either.
No, I agree. And I have to admit, there is a certain tinge, at least this is my personal observation or perception, rather, that a lot of these democratic socialists really do appear to just not like America. They just, they don't like the history. That's why they were trying to take down the statues a few years ago, and then they changed the name of schools, and we can't have Columbus Day. Some of them don't like Thanksgiving or the 4th of July. I mean, it's what some of it really is. I have to scratch my head. I don't. Why do you hate the country that you live in so very much?
That's a concern. It's a really interesting point, Mark. That's a good one to end on in terms of, whatever you say about MAGA and the Tea Party, they were patriots. They really believed in the promise of America.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you can say the same about the Democratic Socialists of America. Between your, whatever his name is, Al-Bayed Sin Bayed or whatever it is, then you got Bernie Sanders, there's, he's the cheerleader. He's the guy that got the Democratic Socialists of America back on track. 4 houses, multi-millionaire.
Yeah, he doesn't yell at the millionaires anymore because he is one and he has 3 homes. It's insanity to me. Oh, there we go, insanity.
Insanity. Well, we're at the end of a show, and here's a what is it? A mimic you do very well. Give us Bernie Sanders on the way out.
No. I'm not doing any more accents anymore since you insulted my English accent. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it.
No, Bernie today.
Not doing it. Anyway, we'll do maybe a larger, a more extended version of this.
I need to find someone who can give us an academic point of view, and I'll do that. I'll make that my business over the next few cycles.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. If you liked what you heard, please share it, like it, and communicate with us. If you didn't like what you heard, share it, like it, and communicate with us. So that's how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Right, Clive?
That's it.
All right, my friend. Stay safe. And everybody out there, thank you for listening and stay sane. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.